Hi, good afternoon. My name is David. I use he, him pronouns, and I am running today a game of Bite Marks. Bite Marks is a Powered by the Apocalypse game um, by Becky Anderson of Black Armada Games. It is a game that is all about werewolves, specifically a pack of werewolves, how they relate to one another, what life is like as a werewolf, the challenges they face, and how they overcome them. This game in particular is is being run as part of a sort of book club idea where we all read the novel Wolfsong by T.J. Klune as a sort of source of inspiration for this, which is a sort of supernatural romance based in a werewolf pack. Hence, obviously, the link from book to game here. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, then there is an earlier episode where we basically just talk about the book itself, what we wanted to take from it, and the last week's session where we did our kind of session 0 as well. If you want to learn a little bit more about what our discussions have been like coming into this. But for today, we are going to jump into things and start seeing our characters get into the thick of it. In various ways. But this game is being run as part of the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing group. We have an open calendar open for signups where you can sign up to playing games like this. It has we have sort of priority access for Patreon backers, but the calendar is freely available when there are slots for games. So if you're interested in checking that out, check out the website at gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll put a link to that down below. We also have a number of podcasts all about gaming, as well as a monthly zine called Codex, which again is available through the Patreon, or back issues are available on Drive Through RPG. So I think that is all of the kind of initial chat that I wanted to get us set up with. So with that said and done, I will ask my players to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about who they are playing today. So I'm going to go in character keeper order for this time. Yeah, Stephen, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you'll be playing.
Hey there, I'm playing Steven, he, him, and I'm playing Cody, he, him, and I've totally got a handle on it. I'm playing the cub. Prior to becoming a werewolf, I lost my leg in a mountain biking accident. My right ear is also kind of fucked up after becoming a werewolf because I picked a fight with a bobcat. But I mean, come on. The bobcat was clearly up to something.
Sure. Oh, I'm not muted. So.
I feel like just to remind people, my heartbeats are frustrated, playful, and energetic because for some reason the rest of the pack thinks that I am not capable of taking care of myself.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's great. Thank you. So, Sabine, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you're playing.
Hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I'm going to play Ivar Peterson, who uses he, him pronouns. Ivar is the enforcer of the pack. He's the one who does the things that the alpha doesn't want to do, I guess. He is frighteningly good at that, and he doesn't like to talk about it. He is one of the people who thinks that Cody might not know everything he thinks he does. But, maybe that's just because he's old as fuck. No, he's not old as fuck. He's just mid-50s, I think. That's not incredibly old from my point of view.
I mean, I think it's incredibly old. It's incredibly old, isn't it?
It's not. It's not. It's really not. But I get that you would think that. because you are incredibly young.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And next, Drew, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you're playing for us today.
I'm Drew. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing Jaxon Tremblay, the Fixer. He's Mr. Jaxon T on Instagram, and he uses he, him. He is a semi-popular Instagram influencer by day, torn, charming, and connected werewolf by night. And he's looking forward to seeing how the pack goes forward.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Jamie, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you'll be playing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I was thinking, Jaxon T. Who am I to talk? I only have one name, and it's Ghost. So Ghost used to have a name, but they're no longer worthy of it, so they don't use it anymore. They are the howl of the pack. So their heartbeats, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Jamie. I use they, them pronouns, and Ghost uses he, they pronouns. And so Ghost's heartbeats are loving, secretive, and sacrificing. They have the ability to speak with the pack, meaning they can communicate across any distance, and speak with the dead when they consume dreams of the recently dead. So that's it. There's a lot of family drama and tragedy that has followed Ghost, so we'll see how they fare, but it's very important to them that they protect everyone in the pack and help an alpha, their father their brother who's been failing.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So we have we had last time we established some of our initial characters and NPCs. So I'm just going to quickly recap over those because I realize I haven't actually put them into the character keeper yet. I meant to do so, but then forgot. So I think the most significant NPC obviously that we have is Marcus, the pack alpha. He is Ghost's older brother, and is head of the pack following the death of their father. I don't think we established exactly, but my feeling was it's probably a couple of years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But not like super recent, but not like decades ago either. We can chat about that a little more if it comes up. We also rounding out the family around the alpha. We have Camille, who is the sister to Ghost and Marcus. She left the pack for slightly mysterious reasons, but mostly sort of revolving around their mother, who we will introduce in a second. But she has recently returned to the pack and is sort of reintegrating following her departure. And then yes, we have obviously their father was the previous pack alpha and is now deceased. Their mother is still alive, though she is now living in exile, having been sort of banished from the pack for consorting with the spirits of the land in a way that was not deemed permissible under the by the alpha. So she is now living somewhere outside of town, and we may learn more of her as we go on. One of the things I will ask in a short while is if I will ask in the first instance, Jamie, if you want to name the mother and father, feel free. If you want to solicit names from others, that's also cool. But it doesn't have to be right now. But I will come back on that in a moment. The other significant NPCs connected to our pack are the librarian, lawkeeper, an older lady called Abigail Carver, who is holds the pack's knowledge and lore. She is considerably older. She's probably in her 80s at this point. She is has served several generations of the pack in her time. We also have Ivar's son Paul, who is a human, is unaware of the whole werewolf thing in general, though he is currently also dating Jaxon. So those are the sort of the most significant NPCs we've established so far, I believe. We also, as I said, we have a couple of sort of deceased NPCs who are significant, though obviously will be playing a limited role in the game itself, which is our we have Celia, who is Jackson's sister and was formerly romantically involved with Marcus, though she has died in a way that was predicted by Ghost, and there is some lingering tension around that. There's
Who
also
hasn't been formerly romantically involved with Marcus?
I mean, it's fair. And there is also we also have sort of again in the background the Ivar's wife, Paul's mother, Enid, who again deceased following an illness and a brief brush with the spookier side of things. So that is those are our sort of initial NPCs and stuff we've got set up. We'll be sort of learning a little more about more people in town, almost certainly as we progress. I think that's everything I wanted to cover on that little recap. Oh yes, as well, I just picked a name from a list of actual town names in Maine, though we won't be specifically modeling this on any real place. But this story will be taking place in the town of Canaan, which I see it as sort of being like a town sort of at the edge of the forests, and the probably not a big place, a couple of thousand people there. Probably no major not like maybe a small amount of tourism industry, but not like a tourist hotspot probably. But we can learn a little bit more about the place as we explore through the eyes of your characters. So yeah, I think as I sort of mentioned just before we started recording, what I am going to do today, or how we're going to start today is by introducing your characters in the town, what they get up to on their sort of normal day. We'll learn a little bit more about them that way, and then we'll start to see what problems may be looming ahead.
Yeah, and before jumping into things, I just kind of wanted to get a refresh on what we mark XP for,
Yes.
and like how often we can hit those. Because I
Yeah.
know the first time we do heartbeat, we hit each individual heartbeat, we can mark an XP, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's a good reminder. That was actually something I was going to go through, because it uses I mean, not involved is the wrong word, but the way experience works in this game is unlike a lot of PBTA games. There is no like marking experience on this. In general, it's rare for moves and stuff to result in XP being marked. Some specific moves will say when X happens, mark XP. If so, that's cool. That works. It will tell you a little bit more about that if you have taken one of those specific moves. But the main ways that you get XP the idea is that at the end of each scene we can have a little like just a little check-in with to see if people have marked XP over the previous scene. I'm very bad at doing these sort of things, so I will probably forget. If anyone does want to call it out, that's fine. But also I will like trust you to like take account of your own XP if you feel like you've hit one of the things. Do feel free to ask if you want, and I will try and check in, especially if I think somebody has hit something. I will try and make a note of that and come back onto it at the end of the scene to make sure that they've kind of marked XP for that. I will say, by and large, like it can be useful to give people reminders when they have hit their XP mark in a scene, but please try not to interrupt too much with it, because it can be distracting as well if like somebody's in mid flow and someone else chips in and say, oh, I think you hit your thing there, because it's, you know, it can just take people out a bit. So that's the thing why it's better to do it sort of just checking in at the end of a scene. So there are a number of things that can earn you XP. You or ticking your path is the way it's phrased in this game. They are primarily so the first things first is you'll all notice that under experience there you have two paths, the human path and the wolf path. There are 3 boxes in each. When you earn a XP, when you earn a tick in the box, you earn it for either the wolf path or the human path, depending on which form you were in when you triggered that point. So it's there kind of as an inducement for you to switch between human and wolf form a bit to kind of bring that out. Some, like I said, some moves where it says, you know, to mark a path will let you choose which one you mark just based on that particular one. But that's those moves will explain within themselves how to do that. So yeah, that's so in any one scene you can earn a maximum of 2 ticks on your path. This whether that's 2 in human, 1 in human and wolf, or 2 in wolf, it's a maximum of 2 total. You mark a path, you mark a point of XP whenever you either play to your heartbeats, you display your pack culture, which are those sort of bits we detailed last time. And again, if at any point you feel like we want to enshrine something as a part of the pack culture, then we can do so. Also, if you gain a 4th tie against the same character, ties are the sort of bonds that you have on each other. If you would go up to having 4 of those on one character, you reset down to 1, but you gain a point of XP, you gain a tick on a path. Also, if you share a moment of heartfelt camaraderie with someone, or as mentioned before, if a specific move tells you to mark a path as well. So those are sort of all of the triggers that you can potentially hit. We almost certainly will forget some because there's a lot of different things to be looking out for there. But yeah, those are the sort of words. Those are the main things we want to be looking out for in the scene. Specifically are heartbeats, pack culture, and moments of heartfelt camaraderie. The other two, the ties and skins, are obviously a lot more mechanical. We'll know when they happen.
Right. And I think that it also mentions you can only mark XP for using slang once per session.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, that sounds about right. Cool. But yeah, thank you for bringing that. I think that is a useful thing to just go into with a bit of an understanding too, because as I say, it's something slightly different to a lot of other PBTA games. It's just it's obviously something to lean into, and for us to sort of take note of as well. And like I said, I will try and particularly as we start out, I will try and make an effort to do those little check-ins at the end of each scene, but as I say, it's something I am notoriously bad at, so I offer my apologies in advance. Cool. So yeah,
David, can you please link us to the quick start to the basic moves?
Yeah, sure thing.
Because I thought I had it, but
no worries. I will when I find it myself anyway. So I've just got them open from my PC.
Drew, how old do you think Jaxon is, and by association, how old do you think Paul is?
I think I was thinking very early 30s with the energy of the late 20s still.
Okay.
So probably like same age as Paulish.
Paul might be a bit younger, but not a lot, like late 20s.
Okay.
That's okay? Yeah, cool.
That's good.
Awesome. Perfect. So then, yeah, with that said, I think we will. As I said, I'll give each of you a chance to just frame a little scene of what your character is sort of up to, just on an average day in town. Do they work? If so, what do they do? Where do they do it? Do they have a favorite hangout spot? Friends that they're with, that sort of thing. I will ask if anyone has a strong idea to start with. Otherwise, I will probably just go back to character keeper order. But does anyone have an idea for an initial scene that they would like to frame out?
And is this, to kind of clarify, is this something we're kind of playing out, or are you imagining something more like cozy vignettes from Brindlewood Bay?
I am happy. I'm happy if you just want to sort of frame it more like a vignette to start with. But if you want to actually play it out and bring another player character or an NPC into the scene, then feel free to like do that as well. But yeah, if you just want to frame it more like like I said, just a vignette, that's also cool. Whichever you're more interested in, really. But yeah, if no one has a particular burning desire to go first, then yeah, Cody, are you okay to kick us off?
I mean, I just want to just to complicate things. I think I'm hanging out with Paul. I think that we're actually like best friends out, like, and that, like, sure, he has like bad taste in guys, but I can forgive him for that.
Yeah, awesome. So whereabouts do you think you're hanging out, and what are you up to?
Oh man, I think that I'm kind of thinking like, so for the town, like we're imagining kind of a small, like isolated, like mountain town or something like that, or forest town.
Yeah, that's the sort of vibe I was thinking of. We can switch that up if people want it to be a bit more lively, or whatever else we can lean into that. But yeah, that was my kind of just initial thought. I imagine there's probably
I imagine that we are coming out of the town's one bar, and if Jaxon would like to show up in this scene, I think probably Cody is riding piggyback style on Paul. Well, not piggyback, like the kind of legs under the arms, arms over the shoulders type thing.
Yeah, like a sack of grain, essentially. Cool. Yeah, I think he's kind of staggering a little bit, both under the weight and
we're both laughing.
Alcohol. And he says, "Dude, you have seriously bulked up recently. This is, I mean, I'm not in bad shape myself, but you are heavy."
I mean, I don't know how you could date someone like Jaxon and complain about not being able to take a guy's weight.
I know, but like, you were always, you were never, jacked up like him.
And I think as they're talking, if it's okay for
Yes.
Jaxon, he will wander in. His nose is to his phone as he usually is, and he's already making apologies for being late. And he looks up and he sees
oh, hey Jaxon, and I wave and I fall off a little bit, and then I go,
whoa. Hi, Cody. And he'll kind of lean in awkwardly and give Paul a quick peck on the cheek, and
yeah, and Paul will kind of grin, and he'll kind of do that thing of like going to kiss you back and then realizing that actually he's not sure if he's got a good enough sense of balance at the minute to do so. He does kind of straighten up a bit and just says, "Dude, get off me, will you?"
Okay. And I kind of figure out how I'm going to do this. And I kind of like let go of my arms and like fall back a little bit. And I think he like just lets go of my legs, and I like fall back and just like with my back and like land pretty hard on my back on the ground. Okay. That was a bad idea. In retrospect, bad idea.
I think Jaxon will offer his arm and say, "So you got the party started without me, I guess."
We've just had a couple, and he'll sort of smile, but yeah, he's not like he's not like plastered, but he's certainly a little bit giggly and.
Yeah, and it really doesn't take much to get Cody to follow through on a dumb idea.
Jaxon will make some noise about the various meetings he's had to explain away why he's late. They're all frivolous sounding, but very important to him.
Well, I guess seeing as you've made it here now, we can go in for another if you want.
I really shouldn't. I have early morning again, but maybe we could hang out, just the two of us, if that works for Cody.
And I roll my eyes just because you're too busy on your phone to spend time with your boyfriend, Jaxon. And I'm provoking spell.
Nice. Okay, so we will look to the provoke spill move. When you do something to provoke a pack. Sorry, put my teeth in and start again. When you do something to provoke a packmate to reveal how they really feel, roll with heart. Stephen is making the roll. I would say spilling. We'll get onto the actual spill move itself probably in a moment. Spilling is basically any kind of expression of feeling, we'll look in.
Where's
Sorry. I put a link up at the top of the chat.
Okay.
I'll paste it.
I wasn't here for that, so I'll
just do all those links again. Actually, I think everyone probably should have them by now, but there we go.
Okay.
We've got the dice roll there. There's also, I was just mentioning, I've put like a little relationship map together, but we will. That's less important for the moment, but more for my own reference. But do feel free to look at it if you want.
That's 7.
7. Okay, so on a 7 to 9 with provoke spill, the target of your thing has to spill, and as I said, I'll get onto that in a second. And then Cody will choose one to in response to either you also have to spill, or they can choose to omit an aspect of the truth in their spill response. But that means that there's no pack pool generated by that move. So that's basically, so that is a choice that Cody, you get to choose whether you will spill as well.
Yeah, I'll spill as well.
Yeah, cool. That perfect. So we'll start off with Jaxon. So with spill, werewolves' feelings and emotions are much closer to the surface than humans, and the close nature of the pack means that you express them more readily. When you openly and truthfully express one of the following, either your desire for a packmate, why you are hurting, what you are angry about, or what you are afraid of, you add one pack pool and give your packmate one tie on you. So there's no mechanic. There's no rolling involved in this move. It's just, but you do have to be, as it says, open and truthful, and express one of those things, or something of like similar weight. I don't feel you need to be absolutely hidebound by those, but they're good indicators of the sort of thing we should be looking at. Jaxon, what? So basically, you've been provoked to spill, so you will openly and truthfully express one of those things. So what do you say, or do you say something, or is it maybe just something that we kind of that we see that Cody picks up on from your behavior and demeanor in general?
I think he'll kind of say with a bit of a slight undercurrent of a growl, maybe we don't need to bore Paul with our business.
Is that you're angry specifically at Cody?
I was going more for he's afraid that
Okay.
if we talk too much, Paul will clue in.
Yeah, well, maybe Paul should be clued in. Maybe Paul should be involved in his boyfriend's business. And I am angry about you forcing me to lie to Paul about the werewolf thing, and I think you get the sense that if you don't tell him about the werewolf thing, eventually I will.
Ooh.
Nice.
So that's 2
Um,
pack each. It's 2 pack total.
So 2-pack. Yeah, you get 2. So yes, between you will generate 2-pack, and you will both take a tie on the other. As I mentioned before, the ties only ever you only ever have ties with other PCs, never with NPCs. You can still provoke spill or spill 2 NPCs if you want, and that will still work. Excuse me. You just won't get that tie because that's not how they work. But yeah, cool.
Anyway, I have friends for you. I have time for you, even if Jaxon doesn't, Paul. And you remember, like, blood brothers, right? Hey, do you remember that time that I had us cut our palms so we were blood brothers and they just got infected?
Yeah, that was super gross, dude. I'm surprised we didn't get tetanus out of that.
You guys did what?
You know, I read about blood brothers, and then we were 12, and I decided that we needed to cut our palms so we'd be blood brothers for life.
Right. Yeah, that tracks actually. So can we see you home, Cody? Or you gonna stick around?
I'll get there eventually, Jaxon.
Right. And he'll look at Pong to say, great.
Yeah, maybe I should call it a night, Cody. But catch you around, yeah.
Okay, bye, Paul. I'm still like on the ground for all of this. Yeah, I was also playing to playful as well.
Sure thing. Yeah, that sounds good. So I think that's probably where we'll call that scene there. But yeah, I will quickly check in. So yeah, Cody, do you feel like you hit one of your heartbeats in that scene?
Yeah, frustrated, and I think I hit most of them really, but
yeah, I'd say
I think I was also playing into pack culture as well, even though Paul isn't technically a part of the pack. I was acting like it was part of the pack.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you can definitely mark 2 inhuman there. And Jaxon, did you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats in that scene?
I think torn.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And
because, you know, maybe Paul deserves a boyfriend who doesn't lie to him.
Awesome. Yeah. I think, yeah.
Cody's just musing this out loud to no. I'm just musing that out loud to no one in particular, Jaxon.
Maybe it's not up to me.
I mean, maybe that's exactly the kind of cop-out I'd expect from you, Jaxon.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So that's great. So yeah, I think definitely a mark of experience for human path there. I think that sounds good. Awesome. So thank you very much. I think next we will see Ivar. what sort of scene do we see of Ivar just in his day-to-day life, whatever that looks like?
I think what we see, and I would like to have Ghost in the scene as well. I think we would see Ivar in the forest and home, checking the boundaries basically, because that's the thing he does religiously, because there might be trouble coming, and that is not a good thing. And also he kind of likes being out there, going moony a bit, maybe.
Yeah, and
not at the second, but
right,
he's
yeah.
kind of prepared for it. He's just checking out in human form, and that's maybe when he comes across Ghost. Or did Ghost follow him?
I think you find Ghost. It's really hard for someone to see it. It just looks like a bunch of stones, or like a tree that's been split by lightning. But it's sort of like, if you see it from a certain perspective, you realize it's a little shrine. And nice. Ghost is there. Like he's found like some animal bones that were left naturally. Like it's one of those rituals he does where he'll gather the bones and place them, because I think Ghost is trying to figure out how to connect to the land better. But yeah, and so when Ghost sees you, he'll just nod and say in a soft voice, "Ivar, it's good to see you."
Hey, Ghost, anything up?
And he slowly places the bones. No, I just wanted to be home for a little while. Is there something I can help you with?
I was just looking around, figuring out if something was wrong. I got a weird feeling, but I've got a lot of weird feelings.
Well, Ivar, you've earned those instincts over the years. Some would say you paid the price for those instincts. I think it would be best to listen to them.
I've paid a lot for these instincts, but it's what it is. But don't you feel it, right? There's something hasn't been right for a long time.
Yes.
Or is that that's not just me?
No, I've been having strange dreams. The same dreams. I do think something is coming. I don't know what. Something will hunt us soon, I think.
Well, I'm looking a bit weirded out when you mentioned the dreams because of this law we have, right?
Yeah. Like Ghost is skirting around it, like saying it out loud if they've talked to anyone, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to avoid asking you if you've talked to something in those dreams, because you shouldn't, and I shouldn't ask. And if you had and you told me, I would have to do something, and let's just not go there. Well, I haven't seen any tracks, but that's weird in itself, because it's. Can I just say that we are in late fall? Can I declare that?
Yep, that's fine by me.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have a specific time in mind, but yeah, that's nice foliage.
Because the wildlife should have come down, and they should have passed home. But there were a lot fewer tracks than there usually are. And I mean, this might just be the climate change thing going on, but I don't know.
No, I think you're right, Ivar. Perhaps we can look together. I'll be here to support you.
And I'm coming up to you, and I'm putting my hand on your shoulder, and I'm saying, I would like this. Do you mind if I leave my stuff here?
Not at all. Please.
Okay,
whatever belongs to me belongs to you.
I give you a quick hug and then I change. I mean,
Nice, nice.
I undress before I change. I don't rip my clothes.
Cool. I'm just going to ask, how does it feel for Ivar when they change into their wolf?
Feels pretty natural at this point. They've been doing this for a long time. It's like you put on a different pair of socks, basically a nice pair of socks, the socks that you've toasted on your stove or something when you come in from the cold and you put on these warm socks. It feels, for a moment at least, it feels so incredibly comfortable and nice. And then then you get used to it, and then your feet are still cold, but it's like coming like dressing in something really comfortable. At least that's what it feels to Ivar.
Awesome.
And he's nosing around Ghost and like whining a little. So like, come change with me. Go mooning with me.
And Ghost, like, I think Ghost is surprisingly unsure for a moment, but they try to hide it, and they nod, and they slowly take off everything as well and put it away, and hidden by the shrine. And when Ghost changes, I think it's the opposite. It's not anything comfortable for Ghost, because Ghost is not comfortable with the power that he's been given. And so every time he puts on the wolf skin, he can feel it prickling underneath the fur, something that wants to be unleashed, something that's angry that he's never allowed himself to look at. But he puts on the skin, revealing a pure white wolf, and then sort of does that really cute wolf dog thing of, like, head against head.
Yeah. For Ivar, it's emotionally, it's like everything is simpler when you're a wolf. All this complicated guilt and stuff and worry about the sun and that all that. It's not totally gone, but it's not so important anymore. There's other stuff. There's the pack mate, there's here, and there's home, and there's all these smells that just flood into you when you're a wolf, and suddenly the world is so much different, and especially in the forest there is so much more information. I think he likes that.
Yeah, awesome. In fact, I think I'm just going to check the move if it's not too directed. Yeah, I'm gonna say if you would like to make the harness the wolf roll, I will point out on there's a mismatch here in the text in that PDF. In the body of the text it says to roll with feral. That is actually with heart, as it says in the header at the top.
No, I actually checked in with the I actually checked in with the designer. It's with feral.
It's sorry, the other way around. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Got
Cool.
it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really big.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's hard. Editing is hard.
Yeah. Cool. No, perfect. Thank you for that, Stephen. Yeah, I could never remember which way around it I had sort of amalgamated it to, but yeah, that makes more sense. Cool. So yeah, if you would like Ivar to roll with feral. This is, I should say, so yeah, when you use your wolf senses and instincts in either human or wolf form, e.g. heightened sense of smell, hearing, hunting, etc., to find something, someone, or find out information, roll with feral. If you on a hit, you get to ask me questions, depending on how
you
well
get
you
to
roll.
make a hard move, which is also nice.
Yep.
So I'm rolling. Yeah, I've rolled a 9, so it's a 10 actually.
Cool. So you get to ask 3 questions. You don't have to ask them all at once if you don't want to, but there is a list of different things there. You can ask whichever you like.
Yeah, what smells wrong here would be the first one.
Sure thing. I think as you are, as I said, you're right up against like the boundary of your territory. and you smell another wolf, not one of your pack. Not a smell that you recognize. Not somebody you recognize, but definitely another wolf.
Can I tell if it's a werewolf or
yes,
sorry,
yes, a werewolf. Yeah, definitely another werewolf.
Oh, wow, okay.
They haven't crossed over the line into your boundary, but they have clearly like come right up to it. They're not here like right now, you don't think. Well, sorry, they are not like right here in front of you. If you wish to ask follow-up to get more of a sense of like when they may have been here, but this doesn't feel like I said, this doesn't feel like, this feels more like a it smells more, it's a trace rather than like I said, immediately present.
Okay. And just to backtrack a little, what is the strongest emotion in this location? And I mean, with this location, I would ask about the shrine that Ghost built here.
Yeah, I'll probably throw that one over to you, Ghost, as I think this place is probably most associated with you.
I think the strongest emotion is regret. It's really, there is a sense that Ghost feels responsible for what happened to the family.
Oh.
Yeah, and spending time here with the shrine, it's a way of trying to work through the regret.
Okay, and one more, right? I mean, I think I'm good because everything else is like, what is the biggest threat to the pack? Maybe these new wolves. That's pretty obvious. So, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, maybe we.
I'm worried.
Yeah,
I'm definitely worried, but I'm fine with the questions so far.
No, that's fine. And yeah, as I say, you kind of this sense, it's not that there is someone out there right now, but it's clearly at some point in the last couple of days, maybe, so that they've definitely come up to the boundary and then left again. In fact, possibly giving it a bit more consideration. So I've just managed to entangle myself in one of my earbuds. Probably been here several times or been around this area quite frequently. You think for a couple of days maybe, but yeah, it's definitely significant enough that they've left a trail behind.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I'll just show this to if Ghost is there. I imagine that they will feel that or see that or smell that as well. So
yeah, I feel like once you point it out, it's easier for Ghost to hone in on the scent. And when that happens, Ghost makes a show of like pawing at the ground and sniffing at it and showing their concern. And there's a single word that comes through: track.
Oh. Well, good idea. Might be an idea. Ivar is not as wild about the idea. You can sense, you can see that he's like a bit hesitant, but also thinks it might be a good idea. So he will start to track this, but carefully. He'll get a bit bigger, just because if you're a werewolf, you can get a little bigger, right? So you get a bit bigger. Then he's usually rather lean. He's not a young wolf anymore, but just if there's something, and he has to protect a Ghost then.
Awesome, cool. I think we'll leave that scene there for the moment, but we can revisit in a bit. We'll take our first break here, so if people want to come back about 15:15. And we'll check
we get
in.
XP.
Oh yes, yeah, we can do that quickly if you would like. Yeah,
break.
Certainly. Ivar, do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats in that
Yeah,
scene?
I think, I mean, I hope it came through that I'm still feeling guilty
Yeah,
about
definitely.
stuff like that. And also that I'm rather loyal to the pack because I'm wandering around that place.
Yep, perfect. And we definitely got some slang from you there as well. So
Yeah.
if you would like to, you can mark. To be honest, I think you could probably, because obviously, like some of those things were across things. So I think you can either mark one of each, human and wolf, or both human, if you would like, depending on how you feel.
I feel that I want to mark both.
Yeah, cool. And Ghost. How about yourself? Do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats there?
Yeah, I think I was definitely going for loving and secretive, so I'll take one for secretive, the whole dream thing.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I also think that you definitely showed some of that like physical affection in wolf form. That's part of the kind of the pack culture. So if you would like to mark one for wolf as well, I think.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Cool.
Awesome. Right, yeah. So as I said, we'll take a quick break now, and if you want to come back about 15:15, and we'll pick things up from there.
Cool.
Awesome. So yeah, I think after that, I think I'm going to check in with you, Ivar, and if you would like to just frame a scene of something you're up to in your day-to-day life on this. If you want to sort of follow on from that scene from earlier, you can do, but if you just want something, to just move on a little, we can do that as well.
I mean, I wonder what that do.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean Ivar. Sorry. That was
okay.
Ivar. Sorry, I meant Jaxon. Sorry. That was a name confusion.
No worries. We just started playing and names are hard to pin
down. I think I'll start before that scene, like maybe the events leading up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Jaxon got up early as he normally does, and he visits the boutique privately owned gym in town. It's a small town, but there's of course one of those, and he does the appropriate update to his story and starts planning out his blog post for the day and looking at his schedule. And I think he meets, could he meet Ivar for coffee?
Sure. I wonder if can I ask a question about what does the pack usually have work in town? We have sort of like the bandit pack, clearly they don't need to work. The boys work for fun basically, but not because they really have to for financial reasons. But I kind of think that might not be the case with our pack, right? So we actually have to do some sort of work here. And I think what Ivar does is he's a carpenter of some sort. Yeah.
And Jaxon, I assume, has a Patreon.
He's a photographer.
Oh, nice.
He takes pictures that aren't just of himself.
Cool. Do you do websites, stuff like that?
Probably, yeah.
Cool. Then you can take pictures of my cabinets and put them up on my website, which I have, which Paul understands. I mean, I could, but I don't. I'm not an online person. I mean, Ivar is not an online person. So yeah. So sure, coffee, good idea in the morning.
Yeah. Maybe there's a little cafe near the workshop that is also appropriately well lit and trendy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like a cafe for the hipster tourists who come through to look at trees and things they don't have in the city.
Right.
Yeah, I can see it being like, not like a big tourist hotspot, but one of those places where it has, it probably has a shop selling, high-end outdoor wear and you know, yeah, exactly, sort of more like yeah,
Yes.
I'm just sort of imagining like little towns out in the Peak District, not far from here, where it's that, yeah, very kind of you know, nice cafes, nice restaurants, and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Rather
maybe
than,
we're not a tourist hotspot, but we get fair amount of hikers, I imagine.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then part of what I do is also I get back hikers who get lost, because in the forest of Maine you don't want to get lost.
I imagine not.
They're, from what I've seen, they're not. It's not like where I live, where you go to the city and to the forest, and even in the wildest regions, if you get lost, you just go downhill for a while and then you'll hit a road eventually. But that, I think that's not the same. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're meeting. Sorry for digressing.
Okay.
No, that's part of what we're here for, is to sort of get some little more fleshing out of the town itself. So that's great. Thank you.
I think maybe it's like a semi-regular, every couple of weeks they get together and just catch up. And because I think Jaxon, he grew up in the pack as a werewolf, and without the connection to Ghost right now, I think Ivar is the only one who feels close to.
Yeah.
And
I mean, sure.
so
So I've been a werewolf for almost all of your life. You might have been born when I became a werewolf, but you were probably just a tiny baby. If even so, I became a werewolf when I think I was 18 or 19. So no, probably you weren't born then.
right, yeah, those two, but
Cool.
I think Celia was also not. There's a rather large gap between them. Like maybe she was already well into her teens by the time he was born, so there was a difference there.
Okay.
But I think he wants to meet with Ivar to kind of. I don't think he lives at the pack house anymore. And he wants to check if there is a pack house. Is there a pack house?
Is there a pack house? That's a good question.
Yeah, I think it makes. I kind of like the idea of that. And then it's a huge deal when someone moves out. Like, you don't want to live with us? There's plenty of space.
I think Ivar doesn't live at the pack house because he had a human wife and he has a human son. So probably not living there. I mean, going there a lot, but, you know, I don't think he can. And if sorry, your name was Jaxon. Jaxon moved out, then yeah, well, that was probably why did you move out?
I needed my own space. I needed to grow my business if I'm to keep my connections live and keep providing for the pack. I needed more space to do that.
Okay, seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of what his thinking about it is he's providing for the pack with what he does. But yeah, he checks in with Ivar fairly regularly since his visits have also been dropping off.
Oh.
And spending more time with Paul, maybe.
Yeah.
So you wanted to discuss a shoot for cabinets?
Oh, yeah, I've done a few new ones, and Paul said I should update my webpage with the newer products, and I mean, he's been taking pictures with his phone, but I don't know. I mean, he suggested that I asked him if it wouldn't be better if you did them, and then he agreed. And I mean, if you have time, I mean, and I pay you, of course. I mean,
I can make time. Don't worry.
Cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Is it for the house?
No, No, I wouldn't. The ones I make for the house, I don't put on my webpage. These are the ones for these city people who come here to buy artisanal craft or something.
Well, I mean, they made a good decision.
Well, apparently in the city you always get IKEA stuff, and I don't know.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
And things at the house they're okay.
Same as always, I'd say. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I can spell now, right? Ha! I like that move. I mean, I can just. Nobody needs to provoke me, right?
That's right. Yeah, no, you don't. You don't need to be. You can just choose to do so. Or sometimes, if like like with moves and other games, if I think what you're saying is probably a spill or leading into a spill, I might prompt you. But yeah, no, absolutely, you can always voluntarily spill.
Okay, I will now. Just so that I understand the mechanics, and because you asked. I say I am a bit worried about Marcus. So he's a good alpha, but I feel sometimes that there is a lot of pressure to being alpha for sure. And people keep comparing him to his father all the time, and I don't know. Since he's lost Celia, your sister, he's not
the same. None of us are.
No, he's not. That was a bad thing.
Yeah.
There.
Speaking of bad things, Cody's been hanging out with Paul a lot. No, they're old friends, but a lot more recently.
Was that something I should be worried about?
Cody's a lot sometimes, and maybe you should just set some boundaries.
Paul's a grown man. I can't. Oh, wait, yeah. I'll talk to Cody.
Yeah. Just, I know, I understand your wishes with Paul, and I respect them. Just make sure Cody does.
Okay, yeah. Sure. I'll growl at him.
Good, he could use it. Maybe call in a mountain lion for backup. Maybe call in a mountain lion for backup.
I don't think I need a mountain lion for that one.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to chip in briefly. Is to say, yeah, obviously, I think Ivar, yeah, obviously, you definitely had to spill there. I think that Jax, your you that probably counts as a spill for you as well. I think whether that be. I think a combination perhaps of either anger at Cody or fear for what might happen with Paul, much of a muchness.
Okay.
So I think that's because you're quite open and frank about that. So I think that is you'll each take a tire on each other because you've each spilled to the other there. And yep, I see you've marked the pack pool already, so that's perfect.
Where's the pack pool?
So on the pack sheet,
okay.
There is just a little series of tick boxes. So I think that has been.
Cool.
Sorry, I've been aggressively ticking. So
no, that's perfect because I will try and remember, but I often don't. So
no, you have a lot to take care of.
Awesome, but yeah, sorry. Do feel free to carry on if there is more you wish to explore.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, no, that was nice. Again, we'll just do a quick check-in for XP here. Jaxon, do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats there?
Torn again, probably.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I'd agree. Ivar, how about you? Do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats? I will also give you. Let's see. I'll just double check how that is phrased. Give me a second. Yeah, I think as well. You can both mark one for a moment of heartfelt camaraderie, because that felt very like a genuine moment of bonding there between the two of you.
Yeah. Where do I am a little confused. Human path or wolf path? Which do I mark? Human, right?
Human, that's right, because you were in sort of just in human form there.
Okay, and for the heartbeats, I think I've had at least loyal, because Marcus is a fuck up and I didn't say so.
Yeah, sure thing. That is absolutely fair. Cool. Thank you.
What happens if you hit 3 and then get one more?
So essentially those are wasted essentially. It's just basically a cue to be looking at having a little bit more scenes in wolf form and hitting some bonds there. Just because of the nature of often, I think, of how the more natural, I suppose, way of playing this out, it will often be probably the human one that is bouncing off of the end a bit more, because I've definitely found in most games as people gravitate towards the being in human form to do stuff, because it's easier. But so because the pace of the XP gain is quite quick anyway, it's I think it should work out okay. But yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thank you. So I'm going to check in last but not least with Ghost. If there is just another, we can pick up on the general, like, investigating the territory and stuff shortly as well. But if there's like another scene just of Ghost's like day-to-day life you'd like to frame out, whether that be, again, before what we've seen, or like a sort of flashback style, or just later on, we can assume that even if some exploration is done in the aftermath of what you found, there's not going to be like an immediate confrontation. So feel free to kind of jump around with time as you see fit.
Yeah, I think this will happen after. Maybe we're not exactly sure when it happened, but I think there's the uncomfortable fact that Ghost doesn't need to work. We don't know why. There's a moment where, like, Ghost looks at their bank account, and there's like a lot of money there. We're not sure why, but Ghost will get ready to go to work. He assists at this like small like store where they sell like phones and computers and whatever. But he's really there because he's taken a liking to Quinn. And so he works there just to have an excuse to hang out with Quinn, but he doesn't actually know how to interact with anybody. He just sort of stands there, and he'll help anybody who has like who asks about a phone or something. And Ghost is not very good at it, but he says the spiel, right, and he memorizes the products as best as he can.
Yeah, sure thing. You're sort of in the shop, and I think someone they're wearing, again, like a kind of quite a new looking warm hiking coat sort of thing. And yeah, they will just they sort of just come up to the counter and say, "Hey, can I get a new charger cable for my iPhone? Left it at home." They'll kind of do that kind of grin and shrug thing.
Oh, of course. And can I take a look at the phone you have? And
Sure. And yeah, they'll sort of just they'll show you the model they have.
I think there's a moment where Ghost like reaches out to like touch the hand, and they have to remind themselves, oh right, if not pack, we shouldn't. So they very overly carefully touch just the phone. Right, it looks a little awkward because of it, and then Ghost takes a look. Right, yeah, we do. If I'm not mistaken, that's right. We currently have a sale. How about I bring it out for you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Just a moment. And so Ghost goes to the back and looks around.
Yeah, and I think maybe Quinn is in there, like doing some trying to remove the all the malware off of some local person's laptop as you come in and say, "Oh, do you need any help with anything?" Sort of just tapping a few keys and
Ghost just looks down. No, it's a charger thing, getting it customer selling sale. Yes. Just yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Cool. Well, that certainly sounded like there was a sentence in there. So yeah, if you need anything, just shout.
Right. Yes. Shouting. Yes. It's something I can do. And I don't think we've ever seen Ghost shout. Ghost is already struggling to think about how to do it. But they grab the battery charger, leave, realize they got the wrong one, go back and grab the other one, and go out to the customer. And so this is what I have for you. What do you think? Like we have it in a few colors, I suppose, if that matters.
No, that looks great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your business. There's a motto of some kind. I forgot what it is, but we're here for whatever you need.
Well, I'm only passing through, really, but thanks anyway. And yeah, they'll sort of give a they'll grab the thing, sort of, and yeah, head towards the door.
Yeah, I think Ghost will actually like call out. Passing through, is there something I could help you with? I know the town quite well. If you're looking for something or someone.
No, just heading out into the going out hiking. I was thinking of picking up the trail near the lake. And yes, why do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I pointedly give him a recommendation for a trail that's as far from home as possible. Like, just to make sure.
Awesome. Yeah, and he'll sort of thank you and yeah, be on his way. Awesome. Was there anything else you wanted out of that scene, or?
No, I think that's good.
Perfect. Yeah. So we'll check in again just quickly on the XP front. Do you feel like you hit any of your heartbeats in that scene?
I think I was a little secretive. like maybe nervous, secretive around Quinn. Like,
Yeah, I think that is very fair. And I think as well we definitely saw that that arresting that moment of physical closeness, which I think is probably a fair invocation of it as well. So I think that's cool on that front.
okay, cool.
So yeah. Awesome. So with that, I think we've got some nice initial stuff kind of set up there. A couple of nice dangling hooks. So I think the next scene I want to bring in is one where everyone can be present. So I think it's at the probably at the pack house, and it's nothing, it's nothing as formal as like a meeting, but it's a kind of one of the evenings of the week where you tend to gather up, and obviously Marcus is there, and I think Abigail will be as well. Camille is around, but isn't specifically like attending this, though she is around the house, and can be dragged into things if anyone wishes to. So I guess I will go. I will start off with Ghost again, actually. I will actually check. I presume that Ghost does still live at the pack house.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ghost feels responsible and has to try to keep the household together.
Yeah, cool. I kind of assumed that. What's kind of Ghost's like attitude, like this? So there's nothing kind of out of the ordinary about this meeting. It's not like an emergency has been called, but how is Ghost looking? What is there anything that they have done to like prepare for this for this like I said, sort of gathering? It's, semi-scheduled gathering of the pack.
Yeah, I think Ghost has tied their hair back and they've put on an apron and they've been working on this they've had something simmering on the pot on the stove for like the past 3 days in preparation for this dinner that's completely normal and isn't a big deal, but Ghost is going a little above and beyond, and they're checking in on it, looking around for the referring to the recipe. I think it was one of their dads, and they're trying to see if they can get it right.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, there's the smell of cooking is sort of throughout the house. Actually, that's a good question in that Sabine's just brought up in chat. Is do we think that Marcus and Celia had any children?
Yeah. Ooh,
Does
so. Oh yeah, I'm like
oops, sorry, you're breaking up a little bit there. Have you? We might have lost Jamie there briefly. I'll give them a moment to see if they either drop completely or join back in. but yeah, I'll check in as well with you, Jaxon. Do you do you what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that they are likely to have had children / a child, or yeah, there we go.
I think it could be interesting to have a couple younger packmates running around.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I said we'll just give Jamie a moment, and
I'm also just to make things complicated, because Camille was away from the pack for a while. Does she have like an awkward like shared custody thing with a wolf in another pack of a child that she had with them?
yeah, that could be interesting. Certainly, I think. Yeah.
That would be really awkward.
Yes. Yeah. And I quite yeah, and I quite like that sort of being half in and half out of the pack as a thing. I think could be quite interesting. So yeah, no, that sounds cool. We'll as I said, we'll just give Jamie a moment to see if they're able to get back. Although actually, while in the meantime, I guess I will check in with everyone else. I'll Cody, obviously we know that you are local to town. Have you moved into the pack house, or do you still maintain like your own living arrangements?
I guess I've kind of moved into the pack house. I think if it's okay with Ivar, I think over the course, I don't know, does your son live with you in your family home still, or?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we're just the
I
two
think
guys.
you've become a tiny bit of an unwilling landlord to Cody over the years.
Yeah. Okay. What's Cody's family situation? Does he have parents? Are they estranged? Are they evil creeps, or just creepy creeps, or just conservatives?
I think they're just, yeah, I think they're estranged. I think that they were kind of not great parents, and I think that's kind of the reason that Cody ended up increasingly just crashing at your place most days
Okay.
of the week.
That's fine. I mean, my wife was a sort of administrator at a local school, so she knew a lot of kids, and she brought home strays all the time, I guess. So yeah, and then Cody just he's wasn't part of the pack, but he was best friends with Paul, so yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I was a bit reserved about the whole idea of having this kid, but Enid said, yeah, well, he needs a home, so he's here now. Deal with it.
awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So yeah, what is how is kind of Cody well preparing for is perhaps putting too strong a phrase in it, but what's he like when this meeting is there? Is he kind of just hanging out at the house, or has he been up to anything else?
Oh, I mean, if there are baby wolves around, I feel like Cody is probably in wolf form playing with them. Like they're probably like little. Oh, actually, how are we going through the thing that like at what age do people start shifting if they're born wolves? Because I know in the novels they don't shift until like puberty.
Yeah, I think probably we'll stick with that sort of around. That's
Okay.
about the time it tends to happen. Yeah. So yeah, they're probably, and these. Oh, sorry. James, but I just realised I needed to let them back in. Cool. Hey, Jamie, sorry about that. I forgot I needed to actually click to let you back in again. Yeah, we were just discussing. I think you were responding when your internet cut out, but about whether we thought Marcus and Celia had any kids. And I think we thought maybe they do have one or two children. They did have one or two children, but does that work for you?
Yeah. I was about to say, because I was in the middle of asking, are godfathers and godmothers like a big deal? Because like here it's a big deal, but I'm not sure if it's like a thing on the other side of the world.
I think it depends. I know. Well, sorry, I should say. Speaking for the UK, it's very, very dependent on individual families. My inclination is to say no, but that's because I grew up in a very secular family, so
could be a pack culture thing.
But yeah, absolutely.
So
that's true. Sort of like I kind of like the idea that you have your parents in the pack, but you also have like other people in the family, like, you know, it takes a whole village to raise a child, and that whole idea. So yeah, I think I like the idea of 2 kids too. So around how old are they?
Depends on how old is Marcus.
Yeah, my inclination is to say that they're probably under 10.
Yeah, that was my thought.
But over, but more, but like at least toddlers, because it's been. I think we established it's been a little while since Celia passed, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that they're twins, just so that there's an extra precocious nature to the children. Like they're especially close, finishing each other's sentences, kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome. I did also have the horrifying realization that they're obviously your dog parents. But anyway, that's enough of that, and we will. So we can detail some more. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the cat in the background. It's every time I go to look at chat, I just catch the. But yeah, so yeah, we have the two kids. If we say maybe about like 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Cute.
So yeah, you were saying, Cody, that you are sort of playing with the kids.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you say you were in wolf form?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're probably like riding you around.
Sure.
And they're making various wolfy type sounds, attempting to howl, that sort of thing.
I mean, I have no pride. If either of them treat me like a dog, I'll also respond like a dog.
Yeah, that is fair. Awesome. Ivar, where are you, and what are you up to as all this is going on?
I think kids playing, it's nice. I think I might go up to. I'll try to avoid Marcus at this point, because, as I said, I'm not too happy with how he's handling stuff. But no, wait, I have to tell him about that pack. I'll turn into a wolf and avoid that for a moment.
Nice. Yeah, and I think to add into that, I think at the minute Marcus is like sat down like at the I'm imagining like one of those like big open, like it's like a dining room come living room type things. There's like a big dining table that probably fits considerably more people than are actually here at the moment. But Marcus is like sat at the head of it. He's probably like, drinking a beer at the minute. And I think Abigail is sat at one of the chairs next to him. And they're talking about something. We can detail more of that as needs be. We Jaxon, when are you sort of already here, or is this sort of the point when you arrive?
I think he's already here, and I think he's kind of sat at the table a little away from Marcos, kind of just elbows on the table, doing stuff on his phone until he hears the kids trying to howl, and he'll put the phone down and very seriously turn to them and be like, "That's not how it works. You got it from the stomach," and he'll play along, but in like the kind of faux serious teacher way.
Yeah, and I think that they will both like start trying to follow the instructions, compete with each other. They're managing some decent howling until they start just kind of mostly laughing. There's a lot of activity going on. So I think this is probably the point when dinner is almost ready to be served. Ghost, how is that coming along?
Oh yeah, so it's nothing fancy, just a 6-course meal, just what I could put together in the last few days. So I get everything ready. I make sure the twins help me like they're supposed to, like I've taught them.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think they'll be bringing out stuff that they can carry. They've got like a carrying a couple of like pots of like vegetables or whatever in that way, that like you're reasonably convinced that something is about to fall over, but they do manage to get everything to the table without too much destruction in the way.
Yeah, and I think Ghost has to sort of hold back, like it's part of the family tradition that you have to trust children and not overly coddle them. But you can see Ghost visibly like, okay, stepping back. No, I'm just letting it happen.
I guess I have to be responsible and turn back into a human. I mean, this is.
Are you nearby when that happens, or?
Yeah, well, I think I go to a room where I keep my clothes just to do the change, or I change in the kitchen just to look at the food, and then go and dress myself.
And but I lean in while you're in wolf form, and I go, Ivar, have you told Marcus?
And I will, tail down, ears down, and look like, not yet. And then I'll change after you've said that, because you reminded me that I have duties to perform. And I will say, well, no, not yet. I was a bit caught up in the Mooney form. So.
And I say, well, I trust you. You'll know when it's the right time.
Yeah, maybe I should talk to him right now. And I will dress before I talk to him, which kind of shows, for people who know me and who know pack rules and stuff, kind of shows that I'm not really comfortable in the situation, because I need clothes to, I don't know, feel less exposed.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So yeah, I think back at the table, Marcus is like getting drinks for people. It's not a hugely sophisticated affair, but there is beer, there's wine, there's soft drinks, as he is providing to people as in accordance with their wishes. And he will say, well, it's great to see all of you here again. It's hope everyone's doing okay. He'll turn over to Ghost and say, hey, do you want to go and check on your sister, see if she's going to join us or not?
I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it, Marcus. And it looks like I'm going to say something, but I hold it back a little bit. But, you know, because we're all wolves, it's very obvious that I held it back a bit. And I get up. I'll see if she's going to come down.
Cool. I think he'll call over to Cody and say, hey, are you going to change for dinner? I'm not pouring you a beer in a dog bowl again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I changed back.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And yeah, he will he'll sort of pass you a beer as you come back to table. And he'll say, well, as I say, it's good to see all of you here. I know there's not as many of us here as there were, but we've still all got each other, right?
Yeah, we do.
I think Jackson's sitting with one twin on each knee, and he's kind of cutting their food for them, and he just doesn't look up or say anything.
Somebody has to.
And I think are you still there, Sabine, or have we? You seem to be breaking up a lot for me again. Or well, now as well.
Keep Marcus happy as well. I'll do
that. Sorry, Sabine, you broke up quite.
Hi, have I dropped out?
Maybe? Yeah, I think certainly seems like there was a little bit of lag there. I don't know if you're back again now.
I am back again.
Cool.
Yes, I am back again. Wow, thank you. Thank you, my internet connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit wonky at times. No, I'm trying to keep Marcus happy by agreeing to whatever he says.
Yeah, sure thing.
And do we have a rule for shop talk or serious talk after dinner? Right?
That's probably fair. I think that there's
yeah.
So yeah, brilliant. So actually, I think what we'll do is we'll take another quick break now until about 10 past, and then we'll just pick up with where we get to next. But yeah. So yeah, as I think actually no. The first thing I will do is Ghost. You get to Camille's Camille's room. The door is closed. What do you do?
I use this knock that we've always had since we were kids, and I wait for Camille to respond.
And yeah, you'll hear a voice. Come in.
Camille, I say as I open the door, I'm sure you can tell that it's time to eat. I cooked some of your favorites.
Yeah. And she'll she's sort of sat like at a like a desk, and she's like clearly got like a like it looks more like a notebook or something that in front of her, but she's got like a photograph that she's been looking at, but she just sort of like slips it back into the in between the pages of the notebook. She closes it and says, it still feels strange being back here. I mean, familiar and all, but strange.
That strangeness is filled with time and filled with lots of things. You shouldn't force yourself to. You should give yourself time.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, I still don't know what I want to do here, but yeah.
And I reach over and I place my hand on top of her head before I lean in, forehead to forehead, and I say, as long as you're here, we can figure it out together.
That's right, I suppose. And she sort of stands up and says, I just can't stop thinking about the people that aren't here.
When I think there's a moment when she says that, I think one of the ghosts shows up behind her. And Ghost is looking straight at her, trying to not look at. I think it's probably Marcus's tether.
Celia, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I look straight at her and I say, I know. It's hard to, we don't have to forget them.
Yeah. I just feel like sometimes it would be easier to, if I could.
Yeah, me too, I say, looking at Celia again. I wonder what it would be like if it didn't feel so empty sometimes. If we weren't so aware of the spaces that they were in.
Well, and she kind of shakes her head and says, "Oh, come on! What you've what you've cooked smells great, and we can see if Marcus tries to do a bad impression of Dad again."
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure that he has some wine in him.
Yeah, and yeah, she will come down and join everyone at the table. I think I'll just get a quick sense check. How is Cody? How are you sort of over dinner? What's your mood like?
I'm not sure. I guess I'm thinking. Still a bit angry with Jaxon. I'm a bit angry with Ivar as well.
Nice.
I guess I'm just kind of moodily giving the two of them the silent treatment, and kind of awkwardly talking with Marcus.
Yeah, and Marcus is making conversation. He seems like he's clearly like trying to like do the whole host thing, but he's also clearly kind of just generally distracted and not really on his A game. But he is like, he'll talk about local sports team, etc. The whatever that sort of thing, and is he's definitely like, he is sort of making an effort to at least some extent. Awesome. And Ivar, how about you? What's your sort of general mood, attitude like over dinner?
I'm a bit reserved, I guess. I mean, I'm trying to keep Marcus humored, which is not something I'm really all that good at, but I'm trying, And also, at one point I will notice that Cody is giving me the side eye, and I will look back at him with this "we have to talk" look. And it's not a very friendly "we have to talk" look.
Cool.
And also, I'm really not really happy because I have to tell Marcus about the whole other pack thing, and I don't know, who knows how he will react. He might just blow up or just wave it aside. It's so hard to gauge how you react these days. But I will wait until the dinner is over.
Cool. And yeah, Jaxon, how about you? I mean, we've kind of seen a bit of you, obviously, with looking taking care of the kids over dinner. But yeah, what's your general mood like as you're all sharing this meal together?
I think whenever he's interacting with the children, he's all smiles. He's genuinely having a great time. I think he feels really close to them. But he has not acknowledged Ghost at all, and probably only cursory to Cody.
Sure, perfect. And Ghost. Obviously, you've served up the meal. People are definitely eating, and how are you feeling over the course of this meal?
I'm checking in on Cody a lot because we haven't had a chance to hang out, and I make sure to sit next to Cody. I'm respecting Jaxon's space, and I'm not going to intrude on that in any way. But I think the whole time my eyes keep flickering towards Marcus because I'm worried about him. I know he's not handling things super well. I can't help but worry about him, but I'm trying to hide it.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think it's probably fair to say that the overall vibe of the this meal is kind of tense with a vague veneer of good humor on top. But yeah, it's the meal concludes. I think Camille will take the kids off to get ready for bed, and leave the rest of you to chat and drink and whatever else after dinner.
I think Ghost will say, make sure only one bedtime story each. Don't let them trick you into anything else.
Of course, I won't let them. I won't let these two get the better of me. And she'll kind of smile down at them as it's got sort of one on each hand, and there's some wheedling and bartering going on as she leads them off. As Marcus, as they head off, Marcus says, "So, does anyone have any business they need to bring to me today?"
Yeah, I might. Yeah. I was I was home today, and at the northeastern border, there I found a track of another wolf, not a wild wolf, one who's like us.
I see. Had they come onto our territory?
No, they've been nosing around the borders though. I followed the track, but didn't find anything.
Well, we can't let them think we're weak. See if you can find out where they've gone. If they've left the area, fine,
Okay.
whatever. But if not, make sure they know that we're in charge here.
Okay. Will do.
Anyone else?
Jaxon just shakes his head and looks back down at the meal.
So are we all going to keep on lying to Paul, or is this just kind of the mean prank that you've all been pulling on him his entire life?
I'm growling, just a little. There are reasons for the law.
We don't tell people about what we are. It's dangerous, even if they are family.
Well, it seems like they'd have to be some pretty damn good reasons to lie to someone you claim to care about. And I'm looking straight at Jaxon when I say this.
Jaxon doesn't flinch. He stares right back, just cold.
There's plenty of reasons. Hunters, they're out there.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
certain that Paul's been a secret hunter this entire time, right under his dad's nose.
Don't interrupt me again, Cody. This is serious. This can be life and death. The people out there who would seek us out, destroy us. All it takes is one person saying the wrong thing at the wrong place at the wrong time, and there are some, all that we have, all it takes is a few people with the right equipment. And
I think I've heard enough, and I shove myself away from the table. Or am I interrupting again? And I am disobeying.
absolutely, yeah. If you would like to, well, I will go to the move. So disobeying is a move with guts. Disobey when you try to resist the following: an alpha's orders, an attempt to dominate, an attempt to dominate you, or the traditions of the pack. Roll with guts. If you would like to make that roll,
Cool. I got a 7.
a 7. Okay, you disobey, but it troubles you greatly. Take -1 from the pack pool.
Cool. I'll take care of that. And I storm out.
I stand up and I say to Marcus, I'll take care of that. I'm following.
See that you do.
I'm following. And when we were outside, I'm calling Cody. You're muted, Cody.
Yeah, Ivar, I'm not taking orders from Marcus, and I'm certainly not taking orders from you.
So you're leaving the pack then? Cutting your bonds, cutting your tethers. You're becoming Omega. Is that what you're saying here?
I'm saying that I need some space right now, Ivar.
You
playing your little power game threats with me certainly isn't helping.
You need to keep to the traditions. Cup. And I'm changing a little, voice getting deeper, more growly, hair starts sprouting, and I'm really angry. You can see that. This is not just me playing the enforcer for Marcus. This is me being actually pissed at you.
That sounds like a dominate to me.
Yes, if that's okay with you, Stephen.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. So I think I'm not totally good with that, but what do I roll with?
Dominate is a roll with teeth. So when you order someone or several people to do something they object to doing, roll to dominate. You can make this. I won't go to all of that bit. If you would. So I suppose I'm going to clarify. So basically, is there like a concrete thing that you want from Cody here? Do you want to make him go back inside, or is this more just a kind of a general?
It's that he should acknowledge that this is a pack and that he should obey the Alpha's rules.
Sure.
Because he's not exempt from what this pack means and what being in a pack means.
Okay, but again, like, to kind of, do you just want me to say that, or do you want me to do something? Because that's just to clarify what you were dominating me to do here.
I want you to, I think I want you to go back inside.
Okay, cool.
And kind of bury your throat, sort of thing.
All right.
Okay, so I'm rolling with 2d6s. See how that goes. Yeah, it's a 10, it's a 12, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. So on a 10 plus, you take full control of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
PCs cannot disobey your current order, but Cody, you will take a tie on Ivar. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think Cody glares at you and shifts into like wolf form while he's doing that. And there's this angry, frustrated wolf glare, but he goes into the house and then just kind of lays down, giving that kind of because like wolves, like dogs, have the nictating membrane, the open eye, like flat dog stare from the laid down position.
I think Ivar's staying outside, and he's really pissed at the whole situation with Paul. And I mean, he kind of wants to tell his kid, sure he does, but he cannot make this argument with Marcus right now because of that. And so I think he's going to chop some wood or something, or maybe he just shift into wolf. He just shift into being a wolf and then stay outside and growl at a squirrel or something. Or maybe he just go out. Yeah, that's the least advisable course, of course. Going out into the woods when it's getting dark and trying to find this other wolf while he's pissed. That seems a reasonable course of action.
That absolutely sounds like a sensible course of action. We'll come back onto that in a moment. I think I would like to quickly skip back to those who are still inside, and as Cody comes back in as well. But Jax, Ghost, how are you reacting to this outburst back in the dining room?
Jackson's just kind of silently looking down at the plate, kind of simmering with frustration, because he would also tell Paul, but he can't.
I think Ghost will look at Jaxon for a moment before looking at Marcus, and in a very soft voice, he's a cub. He's getting used to our life. It must be difficult for everyone involved, even though it's best to protect those we have to.
Maybe he hasn't noticed the mortality rate of the people who find out about us yet.
Go himself and says, "It's true." And I look straight into your eyes and I say, some of us are better at protecting others.
Jaxon just, I think he'll say, thanks for the meal.
And I think it's like it's almost that thing where it's like it's sort of almost like Marcus hasn't really been like listening to what's actually been going on for like over the last short exchange, but yes, it says maybe I shouldn't have bitten him. Maybe it would have been better if I just let him go, and maybe I shouldn't have dragged him into all this.
No. I don't want to think about what it would be like without Cody. We've already lost so much.
He sort of, opens another beer and just says, well, we have, and I think this is maybe the point when then sort of Cody's coming back in, and he doesn't like direct it specifically to Cody, but he just says, we have these rules for a reason. We have to try and protect those of us who are left. And we've lost enough already.
Cody just growls from the floor.
Awesome. And yeah, so I was just seeing that question in chat. So I don't think we have forgive me if I am forgetting this, I don't think we had specified how Celia had died. We could, that it could be hunters, it could be another pack. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Maybe it's this weird combination of both. Maybe like that's why it was so bizarre, like a pack working with werewolf hunters.
And I suppose actually the other question I will put as well. Oh, yes, Sabine.
Maybe it wasn't a pack working with the werewolf hunters. Maybe another werewolf was an alpha who was kind of bonded to these werewolf hunters in a weird pack situation, like Ox with his buddies. So that will be really out there.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah, no, I like that idea. Awesome. The other thing, actually, yeah, that I also don't think we had specified were Celia and Daniel, the previous alpha, were they killed or did they die at a similar time, or were they like two entirely unrelated events?
I would think it would be unrelated because Marcus would have been alpha when Celia was around, I think.
Yeah, sure thing. That's cool. So yeah, Daniel has been dead a bit longer than Celia, and I think obviously as well. I think it was probably under, and I think this we had discussed, but I think that it was Marcus who banished his mother Camille. I think that's sorry, not Camille, Noelle. Camille is the sister. So yeah, that's cool. Perfect. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's good. We've got. I just wanted to get a little on those. So yeah, awesome. And sorry, I've yeah, I think we'll switch back over to Ivar again as you head off in to see if you can pick up the trail of these these strange wolves. So the other thing I will which we didn't discuss previously. One of the things that you can do if you wish when you transform into your wolf form, you can choose to give in to the wolf. This is basically a roll with feral, and it allows you to become a bit more powerful as a wolf, but it comes with the risk that you can lose control of yourself, and in a very literal sense in the game, as in I as MC can kind of dictate what happens to you when you transform. You never have to make this roll. Or very rarely will you have to make this roll. It's something I might occasionally call upon as part of a hard move, but generally speaking, it's your choice as to whether you make that move or not. But if you wish to make it, you can. You don't have to, as I say, but I just wanted to make you aware that is out there.
Sorry, which move?
Give in to the wolf, it's called. It's
Okay.
basically, like I said, it can be used when you transform into a wolf, but you don't have to use it when you transform into a wolf. It's just something you can do. Or if you particularly like, well, if you've already transformed into a wolf, you want to kind of give yourself even more. So it's like I said, it's a way of kind of powering up a bit, but at a risk. I will ask Ivar, do you wish to give in to the wolf as you're sort of heading up the
Sounded
trail?
like it.
Yeah,
Sounded like it, didn't it?
It did.
It did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It did. I will. I mean, right now, being a wolf is just probably the best. I tend to do that. I did that. That's why I have, and Cody, I don't know if Stephen, if you saw that in the chat, that Ivar wasn't there for his wife's funeral, actually, because he kept it together as long as he could, and then that morning he thought, I'll be a wolf for a bit, and then he wolfed out and didn't get back for 6 or 7 days. And that was ghosts. That was due to ghosts' intervention. He would have stayed a wolf, I think, a lot longer. But well, when ghost talks to you, you kind of want to listen, I guess. So I roll with feral, right?
Yep, that is correct.
I roll with feral. Wow, I'm rolling so well today. I apologize.
That's quite all right.
I have an 11.
Perfect. So on a 10 up, you get to choose 2 from the following list. I'll go through all of these now, but one of the first, I'll actually save the first one till last because it's the most complicated. You can gain 1 harm from your bite and claws. So basically, well, even for the duration of this shift, your bite and claws do 1 more damage. You can gain 2 armor. You can add 2 to the pack pool, or you can heal 1 additional harm when you return from wolf form. Normally you will heal an amount of I think it's 3 harm when you turn back from being a wolf into being a person, but and that will mean you'll heal 4 instead. The other option is that you can reduce your heart and guts by up to 2 to increase teeth and feral by the same amount, and that's it. So you can remove up to 2 points from heart and guts, and then obviously increase either teeth and or feral by up to 2 points, with nothing going above a +3. That's only a temporary thing. That's only for the duration of that shift again. But that is another option. So yeah, you can get to choose 2 of those options.
I think I will choose the +2 armor because I'm pretty big now.
Yep.
And I think my fur grows a little thicker even than it is usual. I will not reduce heart and guts at this point because I'm not fully wolf. I imagine this would be fully wolfing out and going the whole I'm half wolf, half person, half a human form. I don't see how this would add to the pack pool, so I think I'll just make my claws and teeth a little bigger. This looks a bit. This is pretty clear that I'm not a normal wolf now.
Yeah, sure thing. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, with that you head off into the night. And yeah, I think I am probably going to ask you to make a harness the wolf roll again here, if to sort of get the to try and scent out and see if you can find this. So that is again roll with feral, not with heart, but yeah.
It's a 12. I apologize for doing all these rolls and doing them so well.
That is fine. That is absolutely fine. So you once again you get to ask up to 3 questions. You don't have to ask them all immediately. If you want to add additional ones in over the course of the scene, that is fine.
Where is the trail? I think is the first thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that does seem the sensible one to go for. So yeah, and I think you will scent it again. It's the scent of a werewolf. You get that you smell their sort of that animal sweat smell off of them. you smell as well on them just this kind of like odd mixture of like like fear, anger, all kind of blended in together. It's got a kind of slightly acrid smell to it almost. But yeah, you can definitely smell. It's the same scent that you got before, but now that you can smell, this is definitely, you can smell them nearby. This is you know, not just a distant trail that's left behind. This is something that's up, that's close and present.
Is this a singular day, or are there multiple wolves?
This is a singular a
Okay.
singular person at the
Cool.
moment. Yep, a singular
Okay.
wolf at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely an individual.
Okay.
And you can smell again. You think that they are out beyond the actual boundary of the territory, but very close to it. And you obviously get the exact place they're at. But it's basically so. Again, it's part. There's a kind of part of the boundary is this like river that runs down from the mountains, and they're kind of the other side of that river. There's a little clearing there, and that's where they'll be. You can get on your nose.
Oh wait. No, I think I'll just go and confront them. That's what Marcus said.
Yeah.
Close enough to our territory. I'm big now. Go away, strange wolf.
Yeah, you will head towards this where to this clearing. You will see a large hulking figure there. We'll just very briefly say for anyone watching who normally in bite marks there's a specific rule on like not having half shifts and only being either full human or full wolf, and it being that sort of thing. But because in the source material there is this like idea of half shifts and stuff, then we're keeping it in for this. But just as an aside there. But yeah, they are you know, they are in their half shifted mode. They are big, probably about like 7 foot at this point. With that unnatural, like overly muscled hair, claws, big fangs coming out of a mostly wolf-like head. They are kind of pacing back and forwards along the opposite bank of the river to your territory. They are breathing heavily. They look agitated. You can clearly see they have the glowing purple violet eyes of an omega.
Oh well, yeah, they need to go. So it's just one of them, right? I'm stepping out of the bushes or wherever I've been, or jumping over the riverbed, and I'll growl at them like, "Go away! You're not wanted here."
Awesome. If you would like to, that'll be another dominate roll, please. I think to see if you're able to scare them away.
I hope not. No, I'm not. That's a 6.
Yeah. So I think that is the point at which you snarl and bare your fangs and growl at them, but they let out a howl, a large reverberating howl, and they will lunge towards you, and they are fast. I mean, you know, you're experienced. You've fought with other wolves before, but even so, they're considering how kind of out of it and uncontrolled they seemed a moment ago. They kind of that sudden moment of focus and speed comes at you by surprise. As they rake claws along your skin. This will be This would be a total of 4 harm they would do to you. However, you obviously have 2 armor, so you will only take 2 points of actual harm.
How does that work?
So the way that the harm does in this thing, so if you'll see that there are like 4 levels of harm in the thing. So you have basically it goes left to right and then down the lines, essentially, in terms of the boxes you tick off. The first category, basically, if you take up to 3 harm, then that is you will naturally get better from that. It's that sort of level of harm where over time you will just improve. If you hit the second level, then without any intervention, that harm will sit there. If you get healing, obviously it will improve. If you don't, it won't. If you get into the section where it's worsening, then if you do not get medical intervention, you will continue bleeding until you die, basically. There's also then a line that says wolf. That is basically when you're in your wolf form, you can take an additional 2 points of harm before you die. You lose that when you come back into human form, but also when you come back into human form, you heal some harm as well. So essentially those boxes just kind of get eaten up. So that's how that works. But that is, I think, where we will leave things for today with this confrontation with the Omega out in the woods. And we'll pick up with that at the beginning of our next session. So I will stop there for now. But thank you very much, everyone. That has been it's been a good, fun session. I think we've learnt a lot more about you all and the world you inhabit. And I look forward to next time and seeing the action start to heat up. So thank you very much.